What if I told you the man who lit up the world failed over 10,000 times before succeeding? It sounds like a myth, a hyperbolic tale. Yet it is. As a child, young Thomas Edison was considered too slow for school, his mind often wandering, questioning everything. He was eventually taught at home, a blessing in disguise that allowed his insatiable curiosity to flourish unchecked. His early fascination with experimentation often led to mishaps, occasionally setting fire to his family's barn or causing minor explosions, earning him local notoriety as a peculiar, perhaps even troublesome boy. His first forays into the working world were equally unconventional. As a newsboy on a train, he set up a small laboratory in the baggage car, conducting experiments between stops. Later, as a telegraph operator, he was exposed to the cutting edge of communication technology, sparking a deeper understanding of electricity and its potential. These early experiences weren't just jobs. They were crucibles that forged his relentless work ethic and an insatiable curiosity that would define his life. The seeds of ambition were sown with these early exposures. He began with small inventions and improvements, making his mark by enhancing telegraph systems and refining the stock ticker. These initial successes, though modest, offered glimpses into his unique approach. He learned from every single failed attempt, seeing them not as setbacks, but as steps forward. Each permutation, each dead end, revealed the brutal truth behind one of history's most influential minds. In the next few minutes, a new facet of the problem, bringing him closer to a solution. He was beginning to realize his immense potential to innovate and perhaps to fundamentally change society. The grand prize, the ultimate challenge that would define his legacy, was the promise of abundant, safe light. The world yearned for an alternative to the dangerous, inefficient gaslight and candlelight. Edison, with audacious ambition, set his sights on creating a practical, long-lasting incandescent light bulb. This goal, seemingly simple, was met with widespread skepticism and even ridicule from peers and the public who had seen countless inventors try and fail. His journey into the heart of this challenge was immediately fraught with obstacles. He tested hundreds of materials, each one proving unsuitable, each deemed a failure. Platinum, carbonized paper, various metals. None could sustain a consistent, durable glow. The financial strain mounted, pushing his family to the brink, forcing personal sacrifices that weighed heavily on his shoulders. The mounting pressure, the constant cycle of hope and disappointment, allowed self-doubt to creep into even his formidable mind. Just as he believed he had found a promising filament, a thin, carbonized cotton thread, a sudden, catastrophic laboratory fire erupted. Flames licked at the ceiling, threatening to erase months of painstaking work, to consume not just his experiments, but also his hopes and dreams. Before we continue, subscribe to the channel and tell us in the comments where you are watching from. The acrid smoke still hung heavy in the air, a bitter testament to the fire's fury. Flames had consumed not just the physical structures, but also, for a fleeting moment, the very spirit of creation. The aftermath of the laboratory fire was a stark, blackened canvas, symbolizing the destruction of countless hours, intricate calculations, and the very threads of his previous efforts. The magnitude of the challenge, already immense. You'll discover the arduous journey of Thomas Edison, a man whose life was a relentless, now seemed insurmountable, cloaked in ash and despair. A profound internal conflict raged within Thomas Edison. Should he yield? Should he finally surrender to the overwhelming tide of adversity? The immense cost of his obsession was laid bare before him. The financial ruin, the personal sacrifices, the relentless grind that had blurred the lines between day and night. External pressures pressed down relentlessly. Investors, their patience wearing thin, demanded results, their voices echoing the skepticism of the public. Competitors, sensing weakness, were closing in, eager to claim the prize of practical illumination. In a moment of stark vulnerability, even his closest confidant, a man who had stood by him through so much, expressed concerns about Edison's sanity, his eyes reflecting a profound loneliness that mirrored Edison's own. It was a bleak landscape, fraught with doubt and the crushing weight of expectation. Yet deep within that crucible of despair, an unbreakable spirit flickered, then roared back to life, testament to obsession, resilience, and an unwavering belief in the power of experimentation. This story might completely change how you see failure and success. Imagine a world cloaked in shadow after dusk, illuminated only by flickering gaslight or the perilous glow of candles. This was the reality before Edison, a reality he was determined to transform, but his path to illumination was anything but bright from the start. Edison refused to yield. For him, each charred remnant, each failed experiment, was not an ending, but a signpost, a clear indication of what wouldn't work, propelling him closer to what would. His famous quotes on failure, once mere pronouncements, now became his guiding philosophy, etched into the very fabric of his being. "I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work," he would often say, and in the ashes of his lab, that conviction burned brightest. He rallied his dedicated, eccentric team, a motley crew who, despite the odds and the recent catastrophe, believed in his vision with an almost religious fervor. Their shared purpose, their collective faith in the impossible, became the bedrock of their renewed effort. The laboratory, rebuilt from the ashes, became an arena for relentless experimentation, a testament to sheer human will. Thousands more attempts followed, each meticulously documented in thick ledgers that lined the shelves. He dispatched agents across the globe, sourcing obscure materials: platinum from Russia, bamboo from Japan, cotton from Egypt. Each new fiber, each new metal, was subjected to rigorous, often brutal, testing. The physical and mental toll was immense. Sleepless nights blurred into endless days, straining relationships, eroding the boundaries of normal life. There was a specific, near-fatal accident involving an untested chemical reaction, a violent explosion that left him temporarily deaf in one ear and scarred by flying glass. It was a brutal reminder of the inherent dangers of his relentless pursuit, yet it only hardened his resolve. Then, amidst the countless disappointing tests, a glimmer of hope emerged. From the distant shores of Japan, a shipment of carbonized bamboo fibers arrived. When carefully prepared and inserted into a painstakingly crafted vacuum bulb, it held. It wasn't perfect, but it held. The painstaking process of perfecting the vacuum inside the bulb, removing every last molecule of air, became an art form, a dance between science and meticulous craftsmanship. And then, one frigid evening, after countless hours of adjustments, a faint, sustained glow emanated from the bulb. It was dim, fragile, but it was there, a beacon in the darkness. The bulb glowed, hour after hour, an unprecedented duration. The team watched, breath held, the air thick with anticipation. 50 hours passed, then 100, then an astonishing 200. Hope soared, a fragile, intoxicating promise, but just as triumph seemed within grasp, a sudden, unexpected surge of power, a rogue fluctuation from the experimental generator, threatened to shatter his long-awaited triumph into 1,000,000 pieces. The light flickered violently, the delicate filament vibrating precariously, the dreams of a lifetime hanging by a thread. The laboratory plunged into a cacophony of shouts and frantic movement. Edison, his face a mask of grim determination, barked orders, his eyes fixed on the violently flickering bulb. The team scrambled, adjusting dials, rerouting circuits, their hands a blur against the urgent backdrop of the power surge. Each second stretched into an eternity, the delicate filament threatening to vaporize, taking with it not just the bulb, but the culmination of years of relentless sacrifice. Sweat beaded on Edison's brow as he personally manipulated Menlo Park into a spectacle of anticipation. Crowds gathered, their faces etched with a mixture of curiosity and skepticism, many recalling the previous failures that had plagued inventors for decades. But as Edison, his voice resonating with quiet triumph, threw the master switch, a gasp rippled through the throng. Hundreds of bulbs, strung across the laboratory and its surrounding grounds, burst into a soft, golden light. The awe and wonder were immediate, palpable, a stark contrast to the previous ridicule and doubt. Children pointed, their eyes wide with enchantment. Adults murmured, their skepticism melting into astonished admiration. For Edison, witnessing his vision become a tangible, luminous reality was an overwhelming experience. A profound sense of validation washed over him, a quiet, deep emotional response to seeing his years of struggle, the sacrifices, the relentless pursuit, finally bloom into such brilliant, undeniable success. The practical incandescent light bulb was not merely an invention, it was the genesis of an empire. A massive, sparking switch, his knuckles white with strain. The air crackled with tension, a palpable fear that this, the closest he had ever come, would end in yet another. Its commercialization rapidly followed, leading directly to the establishment of the Edison Electric Light Company, which would eventually evolve into the colossal General Electric. Edison understood that a bulb alone was insufficient, an entire infrastructure was required. He tirelessly developed comprehensive power distribution systems, from dynamos and generators to wiring and meters, ensuring that his invention could truly light up the world. The impact on daily life was revolutionary. Longer working hours became possible, transforming industries. Homes were safer, brighter, and more comfortable. Cities, once cloaked in shadows, became vibrant hubs of nocturnal activity, their streets illuminated, their possibilities expanded. Yet, the light bulb, groundbreaking as it was, represented only a fraction of Edison's genius. His mind, an insatiable engine of curiosity, continued its relentless pursuit of knowledge and improvement. He gifted the world the phonograph, capturing sound for the first time, and pioneered the motion picture camera, laying the foundation for an entirely new art form. His Menlo Park laboratory, famously dubbed an invention factory, devastating failure. Then, with a final protesting shudder, the surge subsided. The bulb, against all odds, stabilized. Its faint, sustained glow deepened, becoming a steady, unwavering beacon in the sudden, profound silence. A collective sigh, raw with relief and disbelief, swept through the room. They had done it. The news spread like wildfire, a whisper of impossible achievement that quickly swelled into a roar. The day of the public unveiling arrived, a crisp New Year's Eve in 1879. Transforming became a blueprint for collaborative innovation, a place where bright minds converged to bring unimaginable ideas to life. Thomas Edison, the child once deemed too slow for school, the relentless experimenter who failed 10,000 times, had transcended adversity to become the wizard of Menlo Park. His philosophy on hard work and perseverance, his unwavering belief that failure was merely a stepping stone to success, became an enduring inspiration for generations. The ultimate vindication of his belief in himself and his ideas was not just the light bulb, but the illumination he brought to the very concept of human potential. Now, we turn to you. How many times are you willing to fail before you succeed? Comment below and share your thoughts. If this story inspired you even a little, make sure to subscribe, hit the like button, and turn on notifications, because here, we don't just tell stories, we build mindsets.